Hey everyone, this is Mukesh once again from learn-automation.com. Today in this video we are going to talk about Codegen in Playwright. Now when I say Codegen, it's one of the best feature of Playwright which I have seen, which is code generator. And today in this video I will show you how you can generate the test automatically by using Playwright Codegen, which is code generator. As the name says, code generator, it can generate the code for you automatically. In simple words, you can say it's a record and playback, but I have seen multiple recorders, record and playback tools. This is the best which I have seen with lot of options, and today in this video we are going to see all these options one by one. You can record the test, you can put basically different assertions on the go, you can do the emulation, and the most important part which I liked a lot is preserve authenticated state. What is this? I will explain to you, but in simple terms, you can reserve the authentication state in a file and you can reuse it. For example, I want to automate 100 scenarios. In all the 100 scenarios, I need login. So I don't have to perform login again and again. I can save the state of login and I can continue with the other state without writing the login script again and again. Okay, we can save the state and we continue using it. Very interesting video. Watch the video till the end. I'm sure you will like this feature. And I will also add certain disclaimer when to use, when not to use. Okay, because when it comes to real-time applications, dynamic applications, you should be very careful whether you should use this code generator or not. So let's start. So this is the official link which anyways I will share. So whatever syntaxes I will show you, you can copy paste directly from this or from the description of this video. So Playwright comes with the new ability to generate tests for you to perform actions on the browser, and it can also do the assertions. Obviously it uses different locators, and in terms of prioritizing, it goes with a role, text and test ID, which I will show you. So in order to record a test, this is basically for Node.js. Since we are covering Java, we'll switch to Java. So how it works, so you can see this is running code generate. We need to copy this command, and all these commands which I want to show you, I have already written, and I will show you how to use this. So first of all, you can see this command, right? MVN, basically it's running a Maven goal. It's running a main class called Playwright.CLI, which is command line interface. And then we have argument called Codegen. This is the main argument that we need to use. And then you can pass the URL. So this is basically the syntaxes. MVN, execute Java, this is goal. This is the main class which we are starting, CLI. And one argument that we are passing, Codegen. This is the main part. So let me just execute this and let me show you how exactly this works. So in order to run this, you need to go to your project root directory. Please remember this, you cannot directly start. For example, I cannot just type and start. Okay, you will be getting one missing project exception which says this goal that you're trying to execute requires a project to execute, but there's no pom in the directory. It means it is looking for a pom.xml. In our case, this is my exact location, right? So this is my project. So I will right click on this and I will click on property and I will go to this location. Again guys, I'm using Mac right now, but if you're using Windows or Linux, the concept will remain same. You just need to navigate till the project root directory. In my case, this is the directory, my username, workspace and the project name. So I will do cd. Let me increase this size so that you can see properly. Yes, CLS, sorry, it should be clear. pwd, this is my present working directory. Now I will execute this command, and as I mentioned, you can copy this command either from their official website or you can just go to the description of this video. The moment I execute this, notice, hit enter, it is scanning my project, and okay, let me minimize this. Now since I'm using two monitors, I got one window here and I also got this Playwright inspector. Basically this is your Codegen now. So yeah, this is how it will look like. So this is the browser where you will perform the operation. You can actually start recording, and this is where you will get the code. Again, flexibility in terms of code. You can generate the code in Java, Node.js, Python, C# and so on. And if you notice one thing, I did not pass the URL, right, while giving the command. So it says you give me the URL and start working on it. You can see different options here. This is for recording, this for selector, these are for assertions, which I will show you. So as of now, let me close this. Sorry, clear this. Now if you want to start directly, you can copy this URL, just give a space, and after Codegen along with URL you can pass. So now this is my complete command. This time if I execute, again it will start. Two things it will start. One is my application and one is this recorder. Now you can see two windows. One is this basically the browser where the application is running, and second is this recorder. By default, the moment you hit enter, recording is by default on. Okay, so if you see, if I put mouse over here, it is able to identify, and you can see get by text as a locator. Let's say if I put my mouse here, sorry, this one, see it is highlighting get by role. If I highlight this, get by placeholder, get by placeholder, get by role, I can inspect this, I can inspect anything and it will start recording. Okay, so what I will do, first thing I want to show you these important part. So this one is basically recording, this one is pick locator. Let's say if you want to pick locators on the fly, you can use this. For example, this one, so it picked the locator, right? I can use this locator page dot get by role. I can copy paste and continue. Now this is very important, which is basically assert. If you put mouse over, it shows assert visibility. So many times when you do testing, we need to verify whether this is visible, text is visible, button is visible. You can use this. The fourth option is assert text. Now this you will use whenever you have to assert some text. Messages are coming, tooltip is coming properly or not, label is coming properly or not, right? And this one is basically assert value. So let's say you have attributes and value, you just need to verify certain values, you can use this. So basically these three you will use for assertion, for locator and for recording. So in order to start, I want to first in order to start, I need to verify whether I'm on the right page or not. So I will first check visibility of this text. Notice it has added that assert that this particular element is visible. One assertion has been added. We have not performed any activity, it just we have added one assertion. Now I will do activity. I will type admin@email.com. This is the type thing. The moment I say type, you can see it's using fill. Now for the password one, again I will use password, which is admin@123, and sign in. I will also check this welcome message should be present. So I also added one assertion. I clicked on this menu and I clicked on this sign out. After sign out, again I need to verify, right, whether sign out is done properly or not. Let's say I want to verify this sign in text again, or maybe this button. So I will click on this visibility and I will click on this sign in. My script is done within 1 minute. Actually it could have been done in seconds. Since I'm recording the video, I'm explaining, but you can record scenarios in seconds. Now once you're done, you can stop the recording from here and my script is ready. Now I can copy paste and continue. Now if I want to change into, let's say, Node.js, this is my Node.js code. If I want to do this in MS test, this is how the code will look like. Since we're covering Java, I will go with Java. And now what I will do, I will copy, I will go to Eclipse and let me show you. So I'm going to create a new class, let's say. Now if you use this example class, you can do that. I'm just using a new class called record playback. Public static void main, and instead of copying the complete code, what I need is this part. Now many things are missing because basically all imports are missing. So what I will do from my keyboard, Control space O. O means organize. If you're using Windows, please press Control Shift O. I'm using Mac, so I will press Command Shift O. So it will automatically import the missing statements. You can see it has imported browser, browser context, browser type, page, playwright, and area role. One thing that is still not coming is assert that. Assert that is a method which comes from playwright assertion. So for this, you type manually called playwright assertion, or you can put dot playwright assertions dot assert that, playwright assertion dot assert that. This is one way to do it, but let's say if you don't want to do this again and again, what you can do, go to import, say star. Now you don't even need this because we have imported that in a static fashion. Just say static here, remove this and remove this, because we have mentioned that import all the methods in a static fashion. So I can directly call now. Now let me execute this and see how it works. So I executed. See, it waited for the message and now it did the sign out, and it worked completely fine. Now one thing that you have to notice, automatically it has added something called set headless to false because we want to run in a headed mode, right? Very easy to use. What simply we did, we just recorded, and I recorded my steps. For assertions, I use one separate button for assertion. But let's say if you want to, let me stop this first. Now if you notice this playwright script, they have used very smart locators. So if you have seen my previous videos, you must be familiar with locators, right? Now notice how smartly they have picked up the locators. So if you talk about this is fine. Now they have picked up another locator, like get by role, area role heading, role options, sign in, and this is for assertion. For these three elements, all this placeholder was available, so they picked up the placeholder. Now for other things, area role by button, area role by image, again area role by button. So in case if you want to modify, so let's say you don't want to go with this area, get by role, get by area, you can change it. So whatever modification you want to do it, you can do it here. Now be very careful when it comes to record and playback. See, record and playback are good to start, good to get clarity, but when you have to build a complete framework where you have to use page object model, you have to navigate between multiple pages, I will not recommend Codegen. Codegen is good when you have simple scripts, you want to quickly automate, see the results, use for smoke regression, do it. But when you go in real time, you have to build a framework. You will be using some design patterns. That time it's not recommended. Second pointer is when you have too much dynamic applications, right? Too much dynamic data. That time I will not recommend this Codegen. But in case if you want to quickly automate few things, then let me also highlight the different features of this Codegen. See, right now when I started this Codegen, it came with a default viewport, right? But let's say you want to change the viewport. So you just need to add one additional argument called -- viewport width and height, and it can start your application at the same width viewport. For example, now if I execute this time, you will notice it started with a small viewport where the width is how much, 800, and height is 600. Again, you can change the viewport. This is the sample viewport which I have taken, but you can go ahead with any viewport. For example, now if I go to facebook.com or any application, it already started recording page.navigate. For example, I want to now click on create new account, it recorded test by ID. If I type something, let's say Mukesh. Now important part, the moment I said tab, notice it is also capturing my keyboard controls. So now close it, and we got our script ready. So the second option is you can change the viewport. So sometimes what happens, let's say you want to test your application across multiple devices, multiple screen sizes, that time this viewport can be a game changer. Now another very interesting part is the devices. What I mean, suppose I want to test this application in different devices in different size. So if I go to inspect, and if you notice, we have an option called toggle device toolbar. So if I click on it, now the same application, I can see how it is behaving in different devices. So if I click on, let's say, iPhone XR, this is how it will look. If I test my application in Pixel 7, this is how it will look like. Maybe I will go with iPad mini. This is a responsive application, so it's changing its responses. And what I want you to focus is this view, basically width and height, right? So what is changing is width and height, 344, 882. If I go with maybe Samsung Galaxy. So now let's say if you want to test on some devices which is not even available, you can actually create your own devices. Not real devices, this is basically emulate devices. For example, I want to try with iPhone 16, right? So for iPhone 16, I can just type the width and height, let's say 500, 500. And if I come down, let's say add. So iPhone 16 is also added and I can use it. So basically width and height is only changing. So now I will execute the same command. This time I will say --- device iPhone 13. If I execute this now, press Ctrl C if you want to close the previous session. I'm using Ctrl C from my keyboard. Again I will paste, and this time now you can see the same thing is opening in mobile view. Now you can again open the application, do some recording. Once you're done, stop the recording and you can start executing this in Eclipse or VS Code, whatever you're using. It's opening in an iPhone 13 view. Very interesting feature. Again, Ctrl C. Now this is something very interesting, which is changing the time zone, changing the geolocation, changing the languages. So now let's say if you have some application which is working across multiple regions. So let's say same application I want to test in India, China, Japan, US, Europe. I can change the time zone by using -- time zone, and then obviously you have to give the time zone. You can also pass the geolocation. So let's say latitude and longitude, I want to change it. I can pass that particular location geolocation, and it will simulate in this time zone in this geolocation. And interesting part, you can change the language too. So you can just pass the language, in which language you want to start a recorder. So this is for multilingual applications. If you have multiple application which supports multiple languages, you can just change the language local and it will start. The last one is saving the authentication state. What I mean, now this feature which I'm going to show you is very important, so I need your undivided attention. Please pay attention here, and very important. So the moment you talk about authentication state, what it means, let me first show you one demo, then I will explain you. For example, in this application, in order to perform multiple operations, first thing I need to log in, right? So if I do the login, now I can do this add to cart, and I can enroll, right? Or I can go to manage courses, I can create courses, I can create categories, then I can log out. So let's say if I have to write multiple test cases, one for manage category, one for manage course, one for creating courses, enrolling for the courses, multiple scenarios. For all the scenarios, login is common. Now one thing which we can do smartly is, once we do the login, we will save the authentication state. So after login, whatever scenarios we need, we don't need to write the code again and again. We don't need to write this script. We can save that state and we can reuse it for all the test cases. For example, if I click on login, it will have a session, right? So what it will do, it will save the authentication state. Next time I want to perform any other steps, I will not write the login code again. I will simply reload it. This is exactly what I'm going to show you. So in order to do this, you need to execute this command. I will explain this command. Same thing, Codegen, we are talking about this URL. And now we have to use one option called --save -storage equal to auth.json. You can use any other file name. By default, in the documentation it's auth.json, but I can say login.json. So let's say login.json. Now I will copy. I will go back. First I will clear, okay. Simply paste here and hit enter. Now notice this time my Playwright recorder started with one additional line called storage state. It is going to save the authentication state into this file, which is login.json. You can use auth.json. I'm using login.json. Interesting part is, now let's do one login. So first I will click on this. I will click on login and I'm going to enter the username. I'm going to enter valid username, which is admin@email.com, tab admin@123, and I will click on sign in. The moment I did sign in, it would have saved the state now. Now I will not do logout. This is an important step. Please do not perform logout. You can stop the Codegen directly from here, or you can simply close it. Now the moment I close it, if I simply refresh my workspace, you will notice I got login.json file, and if I open this got value called JWT token. For this particular origin, local storage dot token, and the token value is this. Now I can reuse this. Okay, how to reuse? Let's see. Now next time whenever you want to use this, instead of using this command, which is save storage, I will use something called -load -storage, and you need to provide the file where the state is available. In our case, I changed to login, right? So I will change it here. If you don't change, keep it auth.json. And now when I execute this, notice this time it will not ask, sorry, it has captured some additional spaces. Copy and hit enter. And this time it is already logged in. See this cart manage courses category. This generally comes after login. Since I'm reusing it, it did not ask any credential, and directly we got this because all these state it is capturing from this login.json. So this is called saving authentication state. Now I'm using this application. You go with any application, the concept will remain same. But make sure you don't log out, because the moment you log out, this JWT token value that you're getting will be null. And since I started this recorder, you will notice this recorder already captured that we need to use login.json. So what it is doing, it is setting the storage state path, and it is picking the login.json file and then creating the page. So already that session state is getting maintained here. So I hope you got some clarity. So quickly revision, Codegen is a code generator which can help you to generate code, record and playback. URL is optional. If you don't provide the URL, still you can pass the URL, it can start recording. But let's say while passing you want to pass the URL, it can start the recorder with that URL. You can change the viewport, you can change the devices, time zone, geolocation, multilingual application. And in case if you want to save the state, you can use it --save storage and the file name. Next time when you execute, just load the same file and it will not ask the login. Few important points: do not use for dynamic application, do not use for dynamic data. And if you're working with enterprise applications, obviously you will be working with framework. That time you have to use this in a smarter way. Yeah, so that's all about this video. I hope you got some clarity. I hope you will like this video. If by any manner this video helped you, then do support this channel, subscribe this channel, share this video with your colleagues who are learning Playwright. And if you are looking for any specific video, let me know in the comment section, and I will see you in the next video. Till then, bye bye, take care.